Good day and welcome again yet to another episode of the Digital Inclusion in Land Administration series of the Kitingati Tooling Planning podcast. And today we have a very special guest joining us, and I would like to take a moment to introduce you to Michelle Chikowero. Michelle is a great product of the same course that I'm currently undertaking, the Advanced Planning Thoughts and Philosophies. And she brings outstanding knowledge on her research on smart new cities in Africa. And I've recognized her work being helpful in broadening my research. And so I'm thrilled today to have her here and to have her join us today on this episode, and I'm looking forward to a great discussion.
Okay.
Mm, yeah, I think we're good to go. So hi Michelle, and welcome to the Giti Ngati planning tool, um, planners in a pod. So I'd like to first thank you for agreeing to be part of this great series of the podcast. Yeah. And this series is entitled Digital Inclusion in Land Administration. And here we uncover the planning discipline with a discussion on how digital initiatives can elevate planning to encourage inclusivity. So, uh, why don't you give us an introduction of yourself and tell us about your interest in smart cities, smart development?
Okay. Good afternoon, Singita. Thank you for having me. My name is Michelle Chikowero, and I'm currently completing my Master of Urban Studies in Urban Management. And
Mhm.
previously, I was doing my honors in Urban and Regional Planning at WITS, just like
Mhm.
you. So, my interests, in this whole urban agenda is in spatial transformation and the development of African cities. And I think my special interest actually lies with smart new cities and sustainable development, um, as you've probably seen. So thank you for having me.
Okay, no, that's great. That's great. I think it aligns well with my research. Um, However, my research is based on just a little aspect of the smart cities, which is digital inclusion. But yeah, it's great to have you here. So, what do you understand with regards to the notion of smart cities, especially in the African context, as you've mentioned? Uh, and what is your knowledge on the concept of smart cities?
Okay. So just to note, there's smart cities, right? And there
Okay.
are smart new cities, right?
Oh,
And
okay, okay, okay.
yes. So I'm sure you've heard about smart cities, especially a lot of
Yeah.
development manifestos where they speak about, oh, we are planning for a smart city or a smart new city. And the whole idea around smart cities is, is to build cities that are basically smart, with smart people, where technology is utilized to make the city more efficient. Most of the times, these smart cities are said to be based on sustainable development and
Mm.
sustainable development goals, and they're about integration and, using green technology. So I think in a nutshell, that's how one would describe a smart city.
Okay, okay. That's great. And so I believe this speaks to this. Okay, I had this one article that I read by one of the great scholars where they discussed this notion of building new cities. So I believe that this notion of smart new cities is gonna be a great strategic plan for developing sustainable cities. So, what are some of the benefits that could possibly come along with these smart new cities
Okay.
towards
So
sustainable development?
So with smart new cities, right? That's not smart cities. With smart new cities, it's new cities that are created completely from scratch, like they
Mm,
wanted or they still want to do in Lanseria, in Gauteng. And I know in my
mm,
previous research, I also spoke about Eco Atlantic City in Lagos. So it's it's
mm,
new ground, and they build a whole new city from scratch. So the benefits of smart new cities is that they say that it's should I say it aligns with sustainable development in that it's going to be an
yeah,
efficient city. It provides houses, it provides jobs. There's less carbon emissions. The use of technology is used to make things much faster. Whereas you can check the public transport schedule on your
okay.
device. You can check your visa application on your device. So those are basically the should I say the goals of smart new
Mm,
cities, right? But then so they then should I say when I say they, let's just say maybe smart new city advocates, so the people promoting smart new cities again just highlight that okay, there will be jobs created, there will be houses
mm,
created. They argue that smart new cities, will be inclusive. They will comprise of the middle, the low, and the high income groups.
mm,
And I know with Lanseria, when I was doing it, people were
okay.
saying, well, the advocates I spoke to for the Smart New City, the directors say that, the Lanseria Smart City would be presenting, a new vision of cities in South
Mm,
Africa that are not like apartheid planned cities. So,
mm, mm,
those were the main concept that they highlighted as the benefits of smart cities. Everything is smart, efficient, convenient, and they are good for the environment.
mm, mm, mm. That's great. That's some great insight to this notion. And so I don't know if you touched into it, but the role of citizens towards the development of these cities, like how are people supposed to participate into ensuring that there's a success in these developments. I'm asking this because there's this thing of people fearing to be exposed to new things, and yeah, especially with elderly people, they're used to the traditional way of doing things. So how is this? I don't know if yeah, how is this development planning to include them into these smart cities initiatives?
Okay.
Because if
So
yeah, oh no,
sorry.
you can go on. You can go on. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. So I only spoke to you about the benefits, right, that have been
Yeah.
brought forth by smart new city advocates. So I'd say
Yeah.
one of the shortcomings of smart new cities, right, is
Mm,
basically what you're talking about, citizen
yeah.
participation, right, in it.
Yeah.
So there's a TED talk by Nigerian lady. I forgot her name, but she says that, underneath every new shiny smart city, right, is millions of people displaced for these new cities. So I think one shortcoming about smart new cities is that in some cases, not necessarily in South Africa, but I know in Lagos that it often displaces people because people are chased away so that they can build these new cities. So with the case of Lanseria, when I was investigating it, when I wanted to find out about the citizen participation, I was told that, that the residents were were spoken to, right? That there were public meetings where the residents were given an opportunity to respond to the development. And at the time of speaking to the director of the project, I also heard that, they had released, the master plan out for commenting so that the citizens of the area where the project was taking place around Cosmo City, so that they could have an opportunity to comment and give feedback. But you know how these things happen. It's not always that a lot of people actually knew about the Lancia Smart New City project. I think it's the same case with the IDP, right, where people, community members are told to come and give their input, right? But it's not a lot of people that know about it. And especially like with what you're talking about, the digital space, yes, maybe they could have posted about it on the social media pages, but it's not everyone who gets to hear about it. And due to that, it's not everyone who gets to comment on this project. So I think that's one shortcoming, is that not everyone finds out about this. Maybe it's you and I that go on social media, or you and I that know about these things, but not, the grannies at home probably did not know about the new city development and could not comment on it.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So it's a matter of being exposed to such information, um, especially with regards to development. So for future directions for smart city development, as technology continues to evolve and become more interconnected, the opportunities of smart city developments have a potential to grow, and the efforts to address some of the social and environmental challenges through smart cities or smart city initiatives will become increasingly important. That's what I'm seeing. And as cities account for a large proportion of the global energy consumption and greenhouse gas emissions. So that's some of the things that are popping up from my head throughout this discussion. So as we touch on to the planning discipline a little, I don't know, what do you think of planners and how are planners how do you think planners are taking this whole notion of smart development? Is it challenging their thinking around planning? How so? That's just a question that I'd like for you to. Okay, you as a planner, yeah. Let me just ask you as a planner. Is it challenging the way you're thinking about planning from what you've learned, the traditional ways of planning, such things? Is it challenging, and how is it challenging? Is it making you think of better ways? Do you think this smart city development will be effective, especially in South Africa? The economy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh, um,
politics.
So I think at the core of the smart cities or smart new cities discussion is their applicability to the African
Mm,
context, to South Africa. I think if you go and search for smart cities, probably the image that you'll see is of a city in Dubai or
mm,
Singapore, right?
mm,
Nothing
mm,
that looks like Joburg, right?
mm,
So if you read and engage with the smart new cities discourse, you find out that there's certain authors such as Vanessa Watson Amare that speak
mm,
that critique these developments and call them urban enclaves, because what they tend to do, especially with the new city, is that like with all, let's just say Johannesburg, with all the challenges that are
mm,
present in Johannesburg, what a smart new city does is that it tries to forget about these challenges in Johannesburg and tries to go create a new city where there's a clean slate. So they're critiqued, right, for being grounded on a tabula rasa, where everything is just brand new and the problems
mm,
that are prevalent in the city or the country are forgotten. And when
mm,
this
mm,
happens, um, then I personally think that the new city will not be effective, because you can't really run away from a problem, because the same
mm,
challenges that are faced in Johannesburg or any other city in South Africa are still going to present themselves in the smart new cities. So the way I think of smart new cities is that why are we building new cities before we develop the ones that are already existing? And
mm,
especially with smart new cities that are grounded on technology, using the best resources to have these green star rated buildings. It's very costly projects, and what happens again with technology, and you're speaking of digital inclusion, is how many people have access to the
mm,
digital world. Yes, a lot of the youth, I'd say, in the cities do have access, but there's still many other people who do not have access to smartphones, Wi-Fi, and even the data costs. And that's just coupled with unemployment and poverty. It's just it just drives the problems more. And it's also not as if there's Wi-Fi in public spaces in Johannesburg
mm,
that would
mm,
make
mm,
the city be efficient. So I think my perspective is that I think from a planner's perspective is that um, we need to focus more on the development of people and their
mm,
basic needs. We need, because if you, like I was saying, these models look like Mazda, in there's Dubai,
yeah,
right? I think we need to
yeah,
develop more based on our context, and try to fix what is existing first, because right now I tell you there's a place
yeah,
in Pretoria where I've been doing my master's research project, and there's still so many
mm,
people without water and without
mm,
sanitation services, right? So how do we now just forget these existing places and these people and go build new cities? So I think my perspective is that we fix what's existing
mm,
before we create new spaces. And I think just in terms of the digital inclusion, I think because we are you know um, in the digital world, I think it is very important. It does help, especially you know um, like with load shedding. Now you can get
mm,
your load
mm,
shedding schedule from an app. So that helps, but that helps those with access to Wi-Fi and the smartphones. But for those that don't have, so they are still left behind, which just drives the inequalities that are already present in the country and in society.
mm. Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's some great insight because what I'm thinking now is the inequalities that are evident in our country, and overcoming those by just creating new cities and just sidelining the issues which contribute to, or the root problems to these inequalities would just create more problems to the economy. And
Yes.
yeah, I see what you say. Um, I think you gave great insights and it was a great discussion. And I appreciate you for taking your time and being part of this series for the podcast. And I hope that the audience will be listening to this series or this podcast will get some great knowledge from this discussion. Yeah, yeah, it was a great discussion. Any closing remarks that you wanna say? I don't know anything. Which is
No
yeah.
closing remarks, but thank you for having me and best of luck with the rest of your project.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and so I'll send you the link to the podcast once everything is uploaded and finalized, and then you can go through and see what we're doing as a group.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
I hope y'all had a great time listening to this insightful discussion and grasping all of that great knowledge shared by our guest. Because I did. It was a great conversation, which I believe will help me unpack my research into great depths, considering the aspects that were touched on this episode. And yeah, okay. That's it for today. Let's meet again on the next episode. Bye.